Welcome back, everybody, to the Dead Film Critics Society podcast. I'm Daniel from Reviewing. I am trying to do a lot of awards videos now because my other videos don't get views. It's okay.
Yeah.
And here we have Aiden, of course, from GBD Reviews, who helped
Yeah.
me get a good amount of views for my Golden Globes thing because one person doing it is kind of depressing. It's like I watch
You
all,
got some.
yeah.
Oh, you got some views for
I
that. I
got we
didn't
did we
actually see
get
the
some views
video.
for that. Yeah. It
How many did
was
we get?
I think we have almost 200 now. I think we're at like
Hey,
181 or so. Maybe I think we're
nice
gonna
job,
reach
man.
200 by the end of the day. So yeah, I think it's us.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah,
But
I
actually,
saw
I say
so many other
it was
videos of.
mostly you.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
so many other videos of people all doing it by themselves. No, I was the worst part because remember I told you the Discord call went off, so I had to like open I had to go back to my webcam only, so I had to
Yeah.
scramble. So me reacting to comedy musical was so scuffed. It was extremely
Oh
scuffed,
boy.
but it's
It's
fine.
okay though, man.
Yeah,
Like
it's
these
fine.
things happen. Like technology is just unreliable these days. So what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Um.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. As always, we have trivia to get into. So Aiden, I will
Yeah.
ask my question first. Who makes one of a person who is now known as a pretty established actor made his first little cameo in this movie and is related to one of the cast members? Who is it?
John David Washington.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I was a little too
Knew it.
specific, but yeah,
No,
John
it's
David
okay. It's
Washington is
okay.
one of the kids who stands up and says, "I'm Malcolm X" at the end of the movie. Oh yeah, in
Yeah.
case you were wondering, we're talking about Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Anyways, Aiden.
I also have another trivia thing relating to Malcolm X director Spike Lee. I want to ask you, Daniel, what was Spike Lee's directorial debut?
She's Gotta Have It, I believe, is
Yeah, you
his
got it. There you
directorial
go.
debut. Yeah,
That's a
very
really
cool.
that's a really good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I'd like to see
Haven't
that one
seen
again.
it at all.
Oh
Definitely
man.
you need to see that.
But it's like, yeah, his character in the film is just so iconic. It inspired a bunch of Nike commercials with Michael Jordan
Oh
or
yeah, I
something.
saw that, the Mars Blackman. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. A24's lands movie news before I start talking about them.
It's
A24 has
okay. We're a
landed
little bit
distribution rights. Yeah, we're a
disappointed.
little bit off. Has landed the distribution rights for Sean Baker's next film, Red Rocket. Sean Baker is the director of pretty acclaimed indie films such as Tangerine and The Florida Project. I don't know, Aiden, have you seen either of those movies?
I've heard of I've know a bit about the Florida Project. That was, I believe, nominated for a few Oscars
It
a couple of
was.
years ago, right? And
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's in that one, right?
Yeah, that's
Motel owner.
I think he's the only person who got nominated, honestly.
Yeah.
But he was
Oh,
very
okay.
good
Well,
in it.
yes,
And
he
that was a
was.
very good movie. I very much enjoyed it and looking forward to what he does next.
Yeah.
We got some first images of a Romeo and Juliet movie starring Josh O'Connor from The Crown, who won a Globe last week, and Jesse Buckley, who was in I'm Thinking of Ending Things. They're both pretty good actors. I have no idea who's directing it.
Why are we
Um,
doing another Romeo and
it's
Juliet
true
movie?
though. It's a little
We've done
like
so many.
it's true.
Uh,
I feel like we talk about this every week. At least one new project that we talk about is just like a remash or recreation of something that's already been
yeah.
done before. And I
Like
guess
you've got
that's
Romeo and Juliet, Romeo plus Juliet, Nomeo and Juliet, no,
okay. Well, we don't have to talk
Sherlock
about that.
Gnomes. Like
We don't have
all
to talk
these are
about
all
that.
just yeah. We
Yeah,
don't need to talk
we
about
don't
those
need to
movies.
talk
Those
about
are
that.
hot
We got our
garbage. But
first poster and
yeah,
teaser for Luca, a Pixar project that was announced earlier this year that is planning to come out summer 2021. About
yeah,
two
I saw that.
boys.
It
Yeah,
looks
so
really
they
good,
apparently they
actually.
turn into sea creatures when they hit water. So that's the kind of thing they have to hide throughout the movie, and we'll see what happens. Avatar: The Last Airbender franchise to expand with a launch of Nickelodeon's Avatar Studios in an animated theatrical film to start production later this year, which I'm pretty sure
All
is very
right,
exciting to those who are fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have not seen the show. My brother's a
I've
very
seen a bit
large
of the
fan of
show
it.
actually.
Yeah, my brother's a very
Yeah,
large fan of it. He's very excited for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I think we all know. I think you and I both know where we stand on the live action theatrical release that M Night Shyamalan directed. So
I
it'll
haven't
be
watched
nice
it,
that Nickelodeon had a little
but
more control this time and
yeah,
keep it in the
haven't
tradition.
watched it, but I know it does not have the best reputation to say the least.
Oh,
Um,
that's an
that's
understatement
understating
for
it. That's
sure.
sugarcoating it for sure. We got the
Yeah.
first poster for Netflix's Zack Snyder film, Army of the Dead to come out in May 21st about a group of mercenaries who plot a heist on a Las Vegas casino during a zombie outbreak. So basically, it just sounds like Ocean's 11, but they're zombies.
Hmm.
Um,
That could be
interesting.
interesting.
Could
I
be
mean,
interesting.
Zack Snyder, like
I
for all
don't
the
really.
shit like
Yeah.
I've given him in the past for like having very little substance in his movies, man, is he good with style. I mean, I know it's going to be a solid looking film. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to be entertaining at least.
All
So
right. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
We got the next Spider-Man movie confirming it will be called Spider-Man
No
No
Way
Way
Home.
Home.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Ah.
I'm
I'm
excited
so
for it. I
excited.
love some Spider-Man. I've very much enjoyed the last two movies.
Yeah, me
They're
too.
the things I always know I'm gonna see in theaters, and it's supposed
Yeah.
to come out this Christmas. So I'm assuming this. I don't know if Marvel is doing anything, launching anything before that, which would be
Oh,
weird
they're
because
doing
they're
Falcon and the Winter
they
Soldier, and
are
then Loki series after that.
right,
Yeah.
but that like an actual theatrical movie
Oh
release.
yeah, no. Oh,
So
I
would
think
that are they
Black
doing
Widow might be
Are they
coming out.
doing Black Widow before Christmas then?
Yeah, no, they are. I think it's coming out in like May or something.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't seen a news about Black Widow's date for a while, so
Yeah.
looking out for that. Yeah, excited because if they don't put anything between, it would just be a Spider-Man movie as the last MCU film, and then just another Spider-Man film, which would be very interesting. But anyways, we
Hmm.
got a Superman reboot in the works at Warner Brothers with I can't say his name, Ta-Nehisi Coates writing and J.J. Abrams producing.
You know,
Um,
I'm just wondering why are they doing the Superman reboot? I honestly didn't have a problem with Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he was pretty solid in the role. I just don't think he was directed properly. You know, I don't think it's a smart idea for DC to keep on doing these stupid soft reboots. Like, it's
yeah.
just gonna confuse a whole bunch of people.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of all that? Like, just because that's why Marvel was smart. Like, they didn't try and rush their big crossover film
Yeah.
into production. They took their time with it. And I mean, like, I guess maybe that's not realistic with how competitive the market is, but still, like, you can't just half-ass something and expect it to go well.
Mm, for sure. I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see. We got David Fincher to reteam with the Seven screenwriter for a film called The Killer. Since David Fincher signed a Netflix exclusive deal for I think still another 2 years, this will also be a Netflix film just like Mank, and
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender is theorized to be in the leading role, so I'm very excited for that.
Hmm.
I love David Fincher. I love Seven. I love Michael Fassbender, so it just sounds like the ingredients for a very good time.
Yeah, it
Um,
could be really good. I do love Michael Fassbender as well.
yeah, we
Yeah,
got this
fantastic
very
actor.
interesting animated comedy called Blazing Samurai, starring a lot of big names, including Michael Cera, Samuel L. Jackson, Ricky Gervais, George Takei, Michelle Yeoh, Digimon Husao. I'm messing these names, and Mel Brooks.
Jaimon Hansu.
Yeah, and Mel
Jaimon Hansu.
Brooks. Um,
Mel Brooks.
Very
Wow.
interesting sounding show. I'll definitely check it
Could be
out.
cool. Blazing
Um,
Samurai though, I and Mel Brooks, isn't it? Do you
yeah,
think maybe it could be like a samurai version of Blazing Saddles?
I've never seen Blazing Saddles, so
Oh, Blazing Saddles is like it's so funny. It's like it came out in the 70s. It's about this town in the Wild West. They get a black sheriff and everyone reacts poorly to it as you do, right? Because it was
hmm
that time
yeah.
in history, and that's the whole comedy of the film, basically.
Mm,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's actually really funny though. I mean, like it definitely wouldn't get made of all the N words they drop, but I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, like there's certain projects like that kind of justify it. I don't know. We'll
well,
probably
yeah, of course.
yeah.
If it's like a biopic about like some civil rights issues, then yeah, there's gonna be N. The amount that were dropped in this comedy, like in
Yeah,
just in casual sentences, were a bit, you
right.
know,
Yeah,
controversial at the time. So
for
yeah.
sure.
Anyways, let's move on. I don't want to hold
Yeah,
things up, but
definitely.
yeah,
We got Nobody moved up to March 26th, starring Bob Odenkirk, who a bystander who intervenes to help a woman who's being harassed by a group of men becomes the target of a vengeful drug lord. After in the trailer, his house gets robbed and he doesn't do it. He doesn't hit the guy with a golf club, so everyone calls him
yeah,
a weakling. So interesting to see what that will be. I love Bob Odenkirk and Better Call Saul, so it'll be kind of interesting to see him in an action movie because most of his work has not really been anything close to action, but that's kind of the point.
yeah. It
Um,
could be good though. Yeah, he's a good actor.
for
Maybe he could bring
sure.
his own like spin on the role. It's almost like older John Wick a little bit. Think about
Yeah,
it.
even though
Yeah,
Keanu
or
Reeves
it's a
is
bit
definitely
like a
not young.
yeah, I
That's
know,
true.
but I mean like
Yeah.
I guess Bob Odenkirk looks older. Keanu Reeves is ageless though, so I mean, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You know?
We got the
Yeah.
first images of an action thriller called Bullet Train, directed by David
Ah,
Leitch. I don't know. Starring
David
again a
Leitch.
very large cast, including people like Brad Pitt, Lady Gaga, Sandra Bullock, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Joey King, Brian Tyree Henry, Bad Bunny, Zazie Beetz, Michael Shannon, Logan Lerman, Masai Oka, and Andrew Koji. I know most of those people. Logan Lerman is from
Percy
the Perks
Jackson.
and the Perks of Being a
Yeah,
Wallflower. That's what I know him from. I haven't seen
yeah,
any
I know.
Percy Jackson
That
stuff.
was the first movie I saw him in
We
though.
got two
Percy
people
Jackson, one of the best
from
movies.
Nocturnal Animals in Michael Shannon and Aaron
Yep.
Taylor Johnson. Aaron Taylor Johnson definitely gave his best performance. In fact, he won a Globe for that, which most people thought was crazy, and he didn't actually get nominated for the Oscar, which I believe will happen with Jodie Foster, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And Brian Tyree Henry from Atlanta, which I've been watching recently. It's a great satirical show. It's hilarious. Donald Glover just
Yeah.
shows what man's talented. Like I watched I don't
He
know if you
is.
heard. Have you heard of the Teddy Perkins episode? I watched that last night.
No, I haven't actually.
That
No,
so
what happened in that one?
he plays like this Michael Jackson type character, who's like weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's the makeup so well done. His performance is so transformative. I had no idea it was him at all. Like the makeup obviously helped with that a lot, but like you can barely tell it's him. So that's kind of an insane performance just for like a television show. So it
Nice.
definitely works well.
Yeah.
We
I'll
got
have to check out Atlanta. I've heard so many good things about it.
yeah, it's a good show. New
Yeah.
images from Space Jam: A New Legacy. We got
Yes.
LeBron
Yes, we need to
with
talk about this.
the
Yeah.
lightning ball, and we got Bugs Bunny and
Let me ask you
CG
something.
Bigs
Like,
Bunny.
I think, I think we can both agree that the first movie was like hot garbage, but it was still
It's a
very
fun
fun.
movie.
And I think
I
yeah, it
remember
holds a
it's a
special
fun
place
movie.
in my
It's a
heart.
fun movie. Yeah, like Bill
Yeah.
Murray just coming in. It's pretty funny. It's it's not supposed to be taken seriously. There's obviously a lot of stupid stuff, but it is very much a kids film. And yes, you kind of have to put it. I don't know if you have to hold it to a higher, like a lower expectation because it's a kids film. But
Yeah,
at
I
the
mean,
same
like
time, they do
like
delve
I
into
accept its
they
flaws, but I
put
realize how
all
fun
the
it
kids
is.
film
Yeah.
stuff. So like very much works as
Yeah.
that. And
Kind of
I enjoy
interesting
it.
though for this one, right? They actually got a proper writing staff. They got Ryan Coogler,
Yeah, I know
so
they got
maybe it
Ryan
could be
Coogler.
decent.
Yeah, no, they
It
got
could be funny.
good people working on this. So I
Yeah.
think they're maybe gonna try to approach it from like a more like a good comedy that's kid friendly type of way because obviously this
Oh,
will
like the
still
Lego
need
movie then,
sort
basically.
of like the Lego movie, yeah, something that
Yeah,
can be
that embraces the silly
something that
nature
could
of
be
everything.
considered good comedy for like everyone, but is also kid
Yeah.
friendly. I'm hoping that's the kind of approach they go with it. We also
Yeah.
got a Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah, I saw the cast of
movie
that. It looks pretty
with
good.
Hugh
It looks
Grant
like
to
a
play
great
the
cast.
villain. It also stars Sophia Lillis, Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith, and Regine Jean Page. And it's supposed to be directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, who did Game Night, which is apparently a pretty
Yeah.
good comedy.
Also, wait, I recognize that. Like John Francis Daley. Yeah, he was he was one of the kids from Freaks and Geeks, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Pretty sure he was. I think no, he was. That's right. No, I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, he's just a bloody screenwriter and director now. I mean, like he's done some good stuff actually. Like he wrote the Spider-Man movies, the new ones,
Oh,
with John Watts.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done some good job writing those. A Quiet Place Part 2 is release date is moving up to May 28th, which means I guess I gotta watch A Quiet Place the first. I haven't seen that one, so I guess I'll have to watch
Yeah,
it
me
sooner.
neither.
Oh, you
I'll
haven't
probably
really?
go watch that.
I'll probably
No, I
watch
haven't.
it.
Honestly,
Yeah, cool. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll do it on the podcast before we watch.
Yeah.
Part 2.
No, it's a
That's
good idea. I think we should.
All right.
I'm down.
We got the first poster and trailer for this film called Voyagers from Neil Burgers. That's his name is literally just Burgers. It's not even a different spelling. It's literally just the way you'd spell burger. Starring
Awesome.
Ty Sheridan, Lily Rose Depp, Fionn Whitehead, and Colin Farrell. 30 children are sent into space to populate a newly discovered planet, revert to a primitive tribal state after their adult captain is killed. It basically just sounds like Lord of the
Lord of the
Flies,
Flies.
but in space.
Yeah.
But I
That
love
could be
Fionn White.
interesting.
It could be an entertaining film. There's a lot of in the trailer. There's a lot of weird insert shot. Like there's obviously them on the spaceship, but then there's a lot of weird shots of like animals and tigers and bears and all sorts of random shit, and I didn't like that at all. But I love Fionn Whitehead. I think he's a very underrated actor. He's very good in Dunkirk. He's apparently pretty good in this like the Black Mirror movie Bandersnatch. He's apparently pretty good in that.
Yeah, Bandersnatch was pretty good. He was fantastic in that.
Yeah, I'd like to see him in a couple other things. I don't know about this, but well, maybe he'll be good in it. He looked like he was the most commanding person on screen. And also Colin Farrell doing an English accent. Sorry, no, not an English accent. That's closer to what he normally does because he's Irish. Doing an American accent's definitely not the best thing personally. I don't love his.
I don't know. I think he has an alright American
solid.
accent. Like for the longest time, I had no idea.
Yeah, but I can always see it sneaking through. So.
Yeah, sometimes I will admit that, but yeah.
Well, that's all the news I have. Aiden, I believe you had a piece
I had
of news.
one piece of news. It's actually very tragic. I think I talked to you a little bit about this earlier, but one of the sound mixers from...
Okay, wait, stop. What are you doing? I got into Waterloo. Okay, thank you. Okay,
You got into Waterloo?
Yeah, I got into Waterloo.
Hey, yo!
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
What the hell? That's fantastic. Why didn't you tell me? That's so good.
I didn't know until just now because my mom obviously found it necessary to barge in on this call in order to tell me.
That's fantastic, man. Good for you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know if I'm gonna go, but I got in, so that's cool. I now have. Man, I have like 5 options now. The only places I haven't got any responses from is the film stuff, which we're probably gonna get news about Ryerson within the next week, probably because they said mid-March, I believe. So
that'll be good. Yeah. Actually, no, that reminds me. I have 5 options as well. I got a letter back from Queens. I got into there as well. So
nice for what?
Yeah. Oh, it's their film program there.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
So,
we're making moves.
You got a film program. Like I've gotten only acceptances from places like law, and then I also applied to a couple. I applied to this place called Redeemer. It's a Christian university that for their like film digital media program, and then also applied for this thing. It's sort of like a gap year program, but it's at Vancouver Island. So that would be very
awesome.
interesting.
That would be so cool, man. I hope you get into that. Yeah.
For sure. All right.
And now we have to talk about a grim subject after being happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Anyways, so all right. So we have some sad news. I think I talked to you a little bit about this.
Yeah.
One of the mixers from Nomadland unfortunately killed himself like a couple days ago. Ends his lengthy battle with depression. I thought that was really sad. I want to quickly mention his name, Michael Wolf Snyder. He was 35 years old. It's a shame that we lost him.
Yeah, too young to go. Clearly.
Yeah.
Not to measure a man by his talent, but obviously he did have a lot of great things to do, as he was clearly a talented man, being able to work on a great film like Nomadland, and he was clearly pretty talented and should have been doing many more projects. And it just shows that mental health is just something we all gotta take seriously. All gotta take time for ourselves, but also make sure to support others in their, because everyone goes through mental health struggles at some point or another. Obviously some are more tougher than others, but you definitely just need to keep supporting each other, especially through COVID. And make sure to call your friends, communicate with people like we are right now. This is obviously something I enjoy doing, and it's good. I believe it's good for our mental health. So if you don't have something like that, make sure to try to find something like that, just get involved in a community. And if you do need serious help, make sure to go seek out professional help. I'm pretty sure it's still out there for sure. And make sure to go find it. Anyways, let's move on a little bit. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've talked about any movies we've seen, so we technically have maybe a lot of stuff. I've been watching a lot of movies lately. I want to quickly mention Raya and the Last Dragon. Solid Disney film. Not the best thing, not the worst thing for sure. Very solid. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's probably closer to a 7. I have personal bias because I love the director, Carlos Lopez Estrada, who did Blind Spotting. And I could see he definitely had something to do with the cinematography, which I think was very well done. Like, even though you don't really think of cinematography in an animated movie, but it was a lot more interesting than a lot of other Disney films. Personally, the shot choices and editing were very well done. And also, some people find Awkwafina annoying. I don't. I enjoy her a lot.
No, she's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
I love
she has a couple of cringe lines, but that's kind of expected with the Disney movie. So I was like, okay, is fine. So that's why I
Yeah.
gave it an 8, even though it's probably closer to a 7, but personal bias. Um,
Yeah, of course.
did you watch WandaVision?
I did watch WandaVision. Yes, I was like, it was strange. Like all of the fan theories were just like kaput, like
Yeah.
none of them came true, which is a
Hmm.
bit shocking. But I mean, hey, nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. I think they probably put in that fly to fake out a possible Mephisto,
Yeah.
cameo or something like
Pretty
that.
sure
But
they
it was
did.
all right. I
Yeah.
did find the series finale solid. It leaves a lot of more questions and good opportunities to explore and like multiverse of madness
Yeah.
and No Way Home. So
Hmm.
it should be interesting. I'm really
Okay.
excited for it.
Okay. I thought the series overall was probably like a 7 or 6. I really didn't like the second last episode. This finale was fine. I gave it like a 6 or a 7, I'd say, if I had to rate it. I really didn't like the second last episode because I really didn't, even though that's like the highest. I checked IMDb, it's like one of the highest rated episodes. But I thought it was a lot of filler personally, and it just like stuff that I felt like wasn't needed. I think they
I don't know.
really
I
did
think
stretch. I personally think they did really stretch
yeah.
out the story with things like that.
But I think it was interesting to see the background of like Wanda's like transformation like from different perspectives. Like we actually got to
Yeah,
see that story she told Ultron about where she was in the apartment and that was explained more to us. I thought that was
yeah,
all right, to be honest. I mean, like if you don't like it, that's all good. We
yeah.
think it's good that we get to talk about that sort of stuff. But honestly, I like the series as a whole. I'd probably give it like a 7, 7.5.
Yeah, I gave
Yeah.
it a 7. I enjoyed most of it. Like, it's entertaining. I didn't like the
Yeah.
last couple episodes. I really don't like the second last episode. I also didn't really like the Agatha reveal. It was like I never
That
found
song
her. I
though,
never
catchy.
I didn't think it's catchy, right? It was written by the Lopez. I don't know if they're siblings or they're married. Um, that's very different. But the people who did Frozen and like Let It Go and all that stuff, so they're very good at writing hits. They also did Remember Me. So they have a couple Oscars for songs. So
Hmm.
it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
Um, I watched this film called Moxie that was new on Netflix. It's this feminist film directed by Amy Poehler. It was not very good. The writing was very messy. There was a lot of. It was like they were trying to do a 3 hour film, but they tried to stuff it into less than 2 hours because there's way too many characters and ideas they try to put in this film. A lot of them are, in my opinion, problematic, and a lot of them don't get like a full end. Basically, my best example would be that at the end of the film, one they're all having this like chant where they're all like all the girls are declaring their truth, right? And one of
Yeah.
the girls stands up and says like, "You need to stop touching my hair." She's a black girl, and there's obviously a stigma about African American women and their hair. But the thing is, it's like the last thing they actually say in the movie, and it was never brought up before. It was never shown. It was never brought up before. So like to end on that kind of note as your last speaking role felt very weak to me overall.
Yeah.
So that's my quick
Fair
thoughts
enough.
on that.
All right.
I watched Logan for the first time. I
Oh,
thought it
what'd you
was
think?
good. I think there's a lot of story problems in a couple of ways I would have if I was directing. I would have liked to see more of the kids' powers because I felt like a lot of like in that final scene, a lot of them just get captured at first without them doing anything, and the only scene where they show all their powers is when they're like stuffing the villain guy into the ground or whatever. Which
Yeah.
also I didn't like the villain too much. They weren't very intimidating. Um, I thought they should have just taken a plane, right? You know, that's
Yeah,
just
I
my
mean, I guess
opinion.
that's
But
a
I
fair
mean, it's like
assessment. Yeah.
yeah, that is what I thought. The action's very good. I really like Charles, but I really hate how they end his character because I thought it was like when he's talking, right, and then he gets like stabbed. I thought it was
Yeah.
like I thought it was gonna be like a dream nightmare thing, but no. And then I see all this stuff, and I'm like, oh wait, this is real. They really did
Yeah.
that, and I didn't love that. But I really like
Yeah.
Charles in this. He's very funny. He's very reflective, and it does have a lot of similarities to Children of Men. It's just Children of Mutants, basically.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's all I wanted to mention. What do you got?
Well, I told you a little bit about this, but I'll tell you now. I watched the Mauritanian for the first time. I thought it was a solid film. It's shocking what happens to this guy. Honestly, when he's in jail, he's kept for 14 years without a trial.
Right.
Without being charged with anything. I think that
Yeah.
was honestly insane. And then I like one of my favorite parts of the film is when they have that fake out ending where it's like, I'm getting out, and then they say he stayed in prison for another 7 years.
Hmm.
Like, and because of the Obama administration as well, I was like, what? Really?
Right.
Strange. Yeah, it was on it was a shocking film. I don't know if Jodie Foster really deserved the Golden Globe for it though. I think she was
Right.
just kind of there. She
Do you
did
think
okay, but
she will get an Oscar nomination?
I I would be I don't know. I guess maybe
Okay.
she could, but I don't think she really deserves to win if she does
Yeah.
get one, to be honest. She was
Right.
just solid. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
her performance.
I
Just she wasn't
really,
anything
yeah, I
special.
really don't think she'll win. I'm doubting if she even gets nominated. Like Aaron Taylor Johnson, who won for Nocturnal Animals at the Globes and then didn't get nominated for the Oscars. I think a very similar thing could happen here, especially with how chaotic this year is in particular. Um,
Yeah.
but I think there's a very good chance she gets snubbed. Most people think she'll probably get nominated now. I think she'll get snubbed. That's my belief, at least. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah. Any other things before we get into the
What
movie?
else did I watch? Well, I put out a review. I
Oh yeah,
again.
Godzilla. I saw you roaring there. You got some strong
I don't
vocal
know
cords
why I
on you,
did that,
bro.
honestly. Funny. I think it was though, so it's okay. It was
Yeah, it was definitely it was intriguing, a little funny.
yeah. I mean, it got like the reel I put out with a similar thing got like over 3K views. So I mean, I
Mm,
clearly did something right.
yeah,
But I mean, no, it was fun. I really, I've told you this many times. I love this movie. Honestly, like I realize that it's
yeah,
not perfect. I know there's a lot of
mm,
flaws with it. The human characters are not very strong.
yeah,
They're kind of just there to observe. They're more of a vessel for us to experience the film through, but that's also good because it allows us to get a lot more angles on Godzilla from the human perspective on the ground,
mm.
which is much better than I think just what they do in the second film series is just show these
Like
clashes from
just
all these
yeah,
like
just like a
sweeping
flying,
angles.
basically a flying camera, just showing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a
exactly. It just
drone.
doesn't.
It's like a bunch of
Yeah,
drones.
exactly, man. It just doesn't feel as like I don't know. I'm not gonna say that Godzilla
Grounded.
looks 100% realistic, but it feels a lot more real when we get to actually visualize how we would see him in a
Right,
situation like that. So
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
All right. I think it's about time we get into our movie this week. We are
Yep.
talking about a Spike Lee joint,
Hey.
Malcolm X, a 3 hour and 20 minute epic going over the
Yeah.
life and trials of Malcolm X.
See,
Um,
that's the one problem I have with the film. I thought it was a
too
bit too
long?
long.
Too
They
long?
probably could have cut some stuff out of there, but I
They
mean,
probably could. I
I think
think
it's still a
most of it
solid
was
film.
essential. Yeah, I think there wasn't a ton you could cut out. I think most of it is still pretty essential. Maybe some of the stuff in the first act. I think
Yeah,
some of the stuff preluding his time in jail, but it's still a
but
great film.
man, I gotta say though, Denzel Washington,
He's amazing, dude.
incredible.
He is great,
Like
dude.
I don't even know what to say, man. Like what the fuck? But this guy is just one of the. I think he's probably one of the greatest actors of all time. He might even be the greatest actor. Like he just brings so much energy, so much charisma to his performances. Like I see that like he's influenced guys
Yeah,
like Daniel Kaluuya. I think he kind of reminds me of him now. I think this his impact in the world of cinema is just unmistakable, and this was probably his best performance. And I thought he was good in Training Day, and then I
right.
saw this film. This was
Yeah,
way better than Training Day,
yeah,
obviously, right? But
yeah.
yeah,
This
no,
is
but his performance in this film was just immaculate, man.
yeah.
I
It
was blown
was
away.
yeah. For a 3 hour and 20 minute film, he never drops the ball. He's always it's
No,
very clear. He's very vested in this character. He makes it especially in he looks more like Denzel in the first act, but after I don't know if it's just the glasses, but after that he just becomes Malcolm X. You can barely
yeah,
for whatever you've seen of him, you just imagine him as Malcolm X. I find
yeah,
this film very hard to rate personally because there weren't a
yeah,
ton of major flaws, but also I didn't get in that makes sense for such an important figure in stories such as Malcolm X, but I also wasn't into it as much as some of Spike's other films, even though I think
yeah,
those films that I'm more into are more flawed personally.
yeah,
I was doing my own Spike Lee rank, and I had no idea where to put them all. They're sort of the same quality to me. I think this one is the one I was maybe least into, but has maybe the least flaws. I think Do the Right Thing has a little more flaws, but it's also one of his biggest films, and I was more into that. Black
yeah,
Klansman, I think is the film was most into, but I think is his most flawed. And then Da 5 Bloods
yeah.
I was very into it, but also actually no, I think it has more flaws than Black Klansman, but I was very much into it. So. I have
No,
no
that's
idea how to
understandable. Like
rank his movies. They're all great.
yeah, it just does everything solid to be honest. I mean, like there's not a lot of part in this movie, but that doesn't mean that it's a perfect film. I
Yeah.
think yeah, I don't even yeah, I get what you mean though. It is hard to really talk about this film. Like there's not a whole lot to say. I mean, I think Delroy Lindo was pretty solid in
He
the
was
time
pretty
he got
good.
on screen.
Yeah, he was good. Spike
Yeah.
Lee did well playing in his own
Angela Bassett
film.
also pretty
Angela
well.
Bassett was
Yeah.
good. The
Yeah.
last scene of his assassination, the action and the chaos was very well done. The guys falling down the stairs, I think, was very well coordinated with whatever stunt work had to be put into that. I think that was very well
Yeah.
done. I think the gun sounds are very good at reminding you it kind of builds this sense of dread that he at the end of the movie he's going to be assassinated, and that guns are just like, even though he wasn't necessarily a man who wanted to always be involved in violence, he was something that was always surrounding him even before he got involved in being a member of the Nation of Islam, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is just such an important film to watch because I think it really does show you what he went through, and it kind of shows you that maybe he wasn't as much of a radical as maybe some people try to make him out to be, because like obviously some of the ideas he says while he's part of the Nation of Islam are maybe a little too radical in my opinion. I don't know,
Yeah.
that's obviously a big discussion, but obviously I think some of his newer ideas after he leaves the Nation of Islam are more steady, and I think that's when obviously people sometimes try to divide people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I think they're very similar. Looking
Yeah.
at like a movie like this and the stories I've heard from like also movies like Selma, which do a very good job of looking both of these people, and I think they had both very similar goals, and yeah, just an important film. I think
It was.
I compared this to The Irishman, which is the only other film I could think of that was close to this length. I think I connected to The Irishman a little more personally because I don't think this film is really trying to get you personally because it's more about Malcolm X. It's not like how you relate
Yeah.
to Malcolm X, because I think there's a good amount that you can't.
Yeah, it's
Um,
basically just an completely unfiltered look at his life almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like a lot of his, like I said a lot of his human flaws, goals, and personality seem a little lost at the end. But his change from criminal to courageous leader is probably like the most human part of this story. It's kind of like
Yeah.
I think
Of
everyone
course.
can relate to like kind of being down, maybe not doing the right thing all the time, maybe getting in trouble for a big time, and then learning to try to better yourself over time. And I think
Yeah.
that part of the film is very much the most human thing. I think. Oh yeah, the other thing I think they should have cut is maybe his trip to Egypt. It didn't feel necessary. It was a little
Yeah.
long. I didn't think that was
No,
too
I would agree.
necessary for the film. They could have just said that and moved on. Some scenes are like, I think this film, it has good pacing though. It's never
Yeah.
boring. It goes really fast.
Oh, for sure.
His
Yeah.
relationship with Betty though did seem a bit rushed. The
Yeah.
camera work is well done, especially the first take, but it's not really innovative.
Yeah.
I don't think he was trying anything that new compared to something
Yeah,
like Do
that's
the Right
fine. I
Thing,
mean,
which
like,
uses a lot of
it
Dutch
doesn't have to be
angles,
super
right?
flashy,
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
like there is like obviously something good about that, but like you always want to kind of find a film that innovates in a little bit. I don't think this film does it at all, which is fine for the film, but I think
Yeah.
there was some opportunities for creativity Spike maybe passed up to make sure this was a very solid story, and maybe those more creative opportunities would have ruined this movie a little more. So I think
Yeah.
overall it's fine. Um, yeah, I think talk about like this isn't a movie you can talk about too long. It's just like you kind of have to see it for yourself to just kind of
Understand it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just witness it.
Yeah.
I
Fair enough.
the
All right,
scenes
so
with the his hair paste are very funny, especially
yeah.
like they're funny, and then they're like, oh, it's the it's the police. So it's kind of thing. It's like all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
serious. So
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah.
I
I
did
think that's kind
find
of a thing with Spike Lee's films, though. He always leads them with something serious at the end of it. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like the whole implication in Black Klansman, like what he was saying was funny, but he
Hmm.
realized what he's saying is like he's saying something to a complete, utter horrible person, right? So I think
Yeah.
kind of what he likes to do in these types of films. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I think the sound's very
So
well done.
yeah.
Production design, the time period's very well done in most of it. I don't think it relies on it too heavily, but I think the parts that do are part of the film that are supposed to be period pieces are very well done. And yeah, good movie. I definitely
All
highly
right.
recommend it. As far as a score, I think I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Very good movie. Definitely
I'd
not
probably give it an
perfect.
8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I just love Spike Lee's style. So like the parts of his style that were, I think this is maybe his least stylized film, which for me was fine. But I do love some of the things that he does with a lot of his movies. That's why I'm such a big fan of his work overall. But again, I don't know how to
Yeah.
rank his movies. That was the biggest thing I looked at. I was like, how the heck do I rank these? They're all really good. And like most people would say Do the Right Thing is his best film, but for me personally, I think there are some flaws in it, but I'd have to rewatch it, but I have like no idea how to rank them. So
Yeah. No,
I have to watch them
understandable.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the film he has had some weaker films in his filmography. I haven't watched those yet. I don't know if I'm
Old
going
Boy.
to Old
Naming
Boy.
one.
Some
Yeah.
of his early other films like that haven't done too well, but definitely looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing more of his work.
Yeah, I want to see Chirac. I really like. I love Fiona Perry. Fantastic, and I want to see more of
Yeah.
her work. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I
she's
think
really
I'm
good in that.
probably gonna watch 25th Hour next, the one with Ed Norton. Anyways,
All right.
thank you so much for watching. We do need whose turn is it? I think did I pick this film? I'm not even sure.
I believe you did.
I believe
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I think this was my pick. So I think it's your turn, Aiden.
Yeah.
Putting you on the spot here.
Well, no, it's okay. It's all right. I got this. Well, considering I am doing a bit of a series on Godzilla films, I don't know. I hate to do this to you, man, but I mean, like, because I know you're not the biggest fan of these types of movies, but do you want to check out Godzilla versus Kong? Not Godzilla versus Kong. Sorry, I mean, why did I say that? Kong Skull Island. I keep
I was about to
messing up
say,
the
you
titles
got
of
an early screen here or something.
those.
You're
Yeah,
just like,
no, we got to go into
yeah,
the future to do that
okay.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kong Skull. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a Kong movie, so I guess I can lower my expectations before some of the better ones. I guess I'm assuming this is
Yeah.
not the strongest one. There's
No,
the
it's definitely not the
yeah.
strongest one. I think the 2005 King
Peter
Kong
Jackson
movie is
one?
actually probably the stronger one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like excellent visual effects that still hold up pretty well today. I mean, like I think that's one of the more impressive things about his filmography. But this one's pretty good too. It has some beautiful cinematography, so I think you might appreciate that.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna talk about Kong
good.
Skull Island next week. We're also gonna
Weird transition though
Yeah.
from Malcolm X to this.
yeah, Malcolm
Really
X to
sad.
Kong Skull Island is a pretty big.
Yeah.
It is a pretty left turn, if you will. That's
Yeah.
a way to describe it, but it is what it is. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of reactions coming out this week.
Yep.
Reactions to the Critics' Choice Awards, the nominations for the PGA, the DGA, and the BAFTAs. Very exciting stuff as Oscar nominations are next Monday, and I'm hoping they might be happening while we have class. I'm going to have to double check that. I'm hoping they won't be. If they are, we'll just I don't know. We'll see. We could meet up after class. I don't know what we do. But
Yeah.
we'll
figure
figure
something
something out, as we always do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for listening to the Dead Film Critics Society. And make sure to go follow Aiden on Instagram at GBD Reviews. He desperately needs views, as he always does, especially when he's putting his artistic expression out on the line with his very intense Godzilla roars. And make sure to go check out.
I'm regretting putting
yeah.
that out now, man.
Yeah. Make sure
My
to
brother
check
gave
out.
me shit for it this
yeah.
morning. Oh, man.
Make sure to check out my video on reviewing. My new one is
Yes.
a Blu-ray opening that I did, and I have some funny edits in the beginning that I hope you enjoy, and I just hope you enjoy some of the movies I have to talk about. And I'll probably be doing another
guys,
one because I ordered more Blu-rays. So
Yeah. Make sure you give this man some love too. He also desperately needs views and very smart individual. Just got into fucking Waterloo University, so look at that. I want to give him a big round of applause
Thank you.
again. I already gave it earlier, but make sure you give it to him in the comments as well, man. This guy works his ass off.
all right.
All right.
Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. See you guys next time. All right.
Let's get down
And
to
go.
business.